Game started.
Check this. Okay. Let's see. How about e4? e4, e5. I could play the King's Gambit. Why not? Let's do the knight line and see what we get. The Fischer. The Fischer refutation. What's the best way to play this? Maybe develop the bishop. And I'm going to go ahead and castle first. I'm probably playing this a little too conservatively. I don't normally play the King's Gambit, so I don't know all the ins and outs. But d4 would have been a more aggressive way to play it. Let's get d4 in now. I got my knights out. And I'm threatening to win back the f-pawn. Oh, he's just going to let me have the f-pawn. So, well, this is an okay game then, I think. He hasn't bothered to try and win the f-pawn. Now I want to push on with e5, maybe make this knight a bit uncomfortable. e5, he could push on with d5. I can drop the bishop back, though, and have a nice open diagonal. If he takes, I'll just take back. And I have some control of the center here.
Check.
He's got a check. Yeah, I have to watch out for that. The knight could go to g4 and then to f2, which it's threatening to do. So I'm going to put my queen here first so I can take with the rook. Defends this bishop. This bishop is still loose. Pawn is well defended. I'm going to kick the knight next. Don't like that knight hanging around there. The bishop is guarding e3, so the knight I don't think has anywhere to go but back to h6, and then I can exchange it off and open up a line against his king. So a reasonable opening result, I think, unless he's going to win the pawn. So if I play h3, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes. I have enough force, but after h3, knight takes, he could then play a move like f3. He can't play f3. That pawn is pinned. Let's go ahead and kick it. See if he wants to risk losing a pawn there. Or maybe a piece. He goes there. Oh, okay, he's taking advantage of the pin. Not a bad idea. So can I unpin with tempo? Where is the knight going? He probably to h4 after that. The knight can go to h4. So, how about if I just leave everything as is and put a little more pressure here on the on the f-pawn. I think this is still holding. If he takes here, I'll take with the bishop, and I've still got a threat, on f7. And on other moves, I might be able to play queen f3, which will threaten, yeah, so he just defends. So queen f3 threatens his knight. But he can take, he can now take, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes. Well, then I grab on f7, so maybe not. Okay, so he goes there. Thought I could just exchange this off. And this wins a pawn and keeps pressure on f7. Okay, so he does decide to grab there. Because now it comes with the tempo on the bishop. And it hits the queen. Okay. I'm still going to try this. Bishop takes. My queen is momentarily defending the bishop. The knight is loose. So rook takes bishop. I have two pieces hanging because bishop and rook and queen coordinate on this bishop, and rook attacks this knight. But I can take here with check. I can take here with check with the queen. King is forced to the corner. Then what? Then queen here check is not mate because the bishop is guarding that square and the queen is guarding that square, so I can't sack the queen. Let's see. Queen here check, king to the corner, queen there check, queen takes or bishop takes. Have another check with the knight. Okay, bishop
check.
Here check. I can at least, he has to go to the corner anyway. And maybe I can save the knight or sacrifice on h7. Knight takes h7. Everything's defended except the knight, so I have one loose piece and I can just move it away. But it is tempting. Let's see, his knight here is not a move. Okay, knight takes h7. If the king takes, then queen here is not possible because the rook defends it. Okay, I guess that's not working. So I retreat the knight. I saved the bishop and I retreated the knight, and I am one pawn up because he got a pawn back. So, and he has a bishop pair, kind of an open board. Both our king positions are a bit suspicious. But, well, let's see. That attacks the queen and the bishop. This is okay for the moment. I can attack his bishop, right? I mean, the rook defends my bishop, and if he exchanges, the new rook comes in to defend. So that's forced. Now his bishop is hanging. But the material is greatly reduced. We're down to queen, rook, bishop, knight versus queen, rook, and two bishops. And I want to get something on the g-pawn here. So knight to this square, I guess. Knight to h4. Attack the pawn here. Okay, he's trying to develop. Knight h4, I guess he can bring a bishop over to defend, right? But, you know, it's when all his pieces are moved into a really defensive position, sometimes there's a opportunity to strike. Like here, where could I go? A bishop out of the way and rook to bishop back and rook to he doesn't like allowing my my rook there. Okay, well that's understandable. I don't want to lift the rook and open the back rank for a queen check. If I play the rook here, he has bishop here, that's currently defended, and bishop here, it's not available. He has queen there. Queen there, and I have queen here defending. Okay, this is close, huh? Queen here defends the knight and the rook. But I should think of these things before I move. Yeah, he could play something like rook to rook to e8, right? That would hit my queen. It's defended by his bishop. And what would I do? I could play rook up to hit his queen. He takes, I take. He takes rook, I take queen. He decides to go there. So let's try and bring this knight to safety somehow. I guess let's start by chasing the queen away. Queen could go to f2, I guess. I have queen to e5, I think that is. Queen e6, rather. Threatening mate. With the bishop there. That's interesting. But then when the queen goes to e6, the bishop can move away from defense of g7. So what I really want to do is put my queen on yeah, if I could put my queen on f7, it would be with the dual threat of checkmating here, and if the bishop moves away, then it would also be checkmate here on on g7. So hopefully this is getting a bit tricky for him. Queen f2 is still playable, though. That would control f7. Then I could play rook. Rook here. So he goes for the trade of queens. This is probably a better endgame for me, but it's not so simple. Let's see. Rook takes, and then I would continue. He's got two loose bishops, so a rook to that square would fork them, but that's not happening immediately. Knight here would also fork bishop and rook. Let's see. Can I get on this? Yeah, I can play queen to queen d4, threatening mate. Right? He can't take my rook. And if he moves his bishop to save himself from the checkmate, then I can take his queen. So I think that's the way to play it, unless I have overlooked something. Yeah, typical wild position. So he had that move, rook e8 there earlier, perhaps. Perhaps he had that earlier. Yeah, but I don't see how he avoids loss of material. I'm threatening to take the queen with my rook, and I'm threatening checkmate with the queen, and I don't see a move that defends against both threats. And there's no checks on my king. Yeah, so he plays there. There is a move that defends. That's very clever, because if I take his queen now, he checkmates me. But I can take his rook.
Check.
Pretty clever defense. If I just grabbed the queen, rook here, I think would have been checkmate. So here,
Black resigns.
Okay, he resigned. Oh yeah, because I have the checkmate. Hopefully, I would have found that. Okay, well, that was a fun game. I will upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.